See if I can get the chat room up. There we go. Who's with me, everybody? Let me know in the chat room if you're there with me. Might be a little bit of a delay. I'm live here on Zoom. Well, welcome everybody. This is the Space Water Podcast. Let me see if I can also Okay, people are joining now. Welcome everybody. This is the Space Water Podcast, episode 12. Of course, my name is Castaldo, bringing you this groundbreaking new podcast here on YouTube. We're live here on May 13th, 2024. It is 10:30, a little after 10:30 p.m. here on the East Coast, and we're going to bring you some groundbreaking research today, bringing you back some of the lost knowledge, sacred knowledge of the ancient adepts and the ancient past, some of our ancient ancestors. Guys, you can also support me right here in the chat room, in the super chat. For years of bringing you guys these groundbreaking information and research, you guys can support me right here. I never really asked for donations out there from everybody, but it's been a struggle just to keep my websites up and running. I have no sponsors. I have no what's it called? People that sponsor and advertise and things like that on my website. They come straight out of pocket. I have one free information website, the Mystical Spiral Store. The mysticalspiral.com, and we also have the mysticalspiralstore.com. So even if you guys don't want to donate to support to keep my information live and running for free in a lot of these platforms, you guys can also get yourself some of the world's finest unique copper custom creations, jewelry, copper healing devices, as well as gemstones and the world's finest, most ethically sourced crystals and gemstones you can find out there. You guys can also support me and support yourself getting priceless information at patreon.com/the mystical spiral. Hold on, I'm trying to fix this one link right now. Bear with me 1 second. See, I don't know why I can't. I'll figure it out later. But thank you guys. Dancer in the Storm. Glad you're here. We're gonna go pretty deep tonight. But first, let's take a look everybody. Let's take a look before we get into the groundbreaking information I have to share with you guys. We're going to be talking about a Neolithic site found in France that there's none other like this on the planet. And I'm going to be showing you how it could be actually showing you the bird's eye view. Looking down on the site looks exactly like what you see here behind you. Plasma loops coming from the sun. And it's my findings from not only from scholarship alone, from me experiencing information from the universe, the communion of the universe and the sentient plasma waters of the universe with these sacred stone sites all over the planet. What's up, Robert from Typical Skeptic Podcast? How you doing, brother? Let's do the crystal skull readings tomorrow. I was trying to get in touch with you today. But you guys will see this as well. But first, guys, we need to take a look at let me show you guys the website for all you guys that are new to my information and everything else. Let me show you guys my store. There's a lot of people that have shops up at like Etsy and Spotify or Shopify, but all those people are aiming to have their own website. It costs me over $1,500 a year out of my own pocket to keep these websites running. and it's a struggle sometimes just to pay for it. I never ever ask for donations for people, but if you can support us, just $1 or $2 to keep our websites running. I also have a free information website that we'll look up in a second. I'll show you guys with a lot of interesting information that I'm constantly updating. But here is my store, the mysticalspiralstore.com. We have a 10% discount offer. Also, we do custom orders. I make custom pendants. You also can have custom packages made for yourself. We have all new items, and these are items that people have been actually copying my work all over the planet, from Russia to the UK, but you can get it here, only here, where you can find actual copper tensors, royal cubit twisted copper tensors around gemstones. I also have regular copper coils as well, but you guys can see here. Incredible solar. Let me take the volume off. So you guys can see here, this is my own website for YouTube if you're seeing it, so it's no copyright. But this is actual lemon quartz gemstone with royal cubit, measure royal cubit copper, twisted copper tensor around it. The energy is incredible on this. I have people all over, like Diego Sanchez from the UFC. You guys can look at my Instagram. He had commented about some of these that he wants one. Even Twisted Sage, who's a well-known copper tensor company, telling me on Instagram that they love the feel of this new item and they wanted one for themselves. So this is incredible. You can only find this, my own creation tier right here. And this is an actual gemstone of natural lemon quartz with the copper tensor, twisted copper tensor wrapped around it. You can't find this anywhere else on the planet. We also have amazing other ones that are, and for under $100 you can get right here a gemstone opal pendant. Let me show you guys this one. This is the one that Diego Sanchez wanted right here. Let me show you guys. This is actual fire matrix opal from Ethiopia with the copper tensor, the royal cubic copper tensor wrapped around it. Look at that opal. Just incredible. Really amazing. It has all the 7 rays, the 7 colors, probably more than 7 colors, but I call this the 7 rays amulet, the celestial ship amulet. Really incredible. I also have one with the silver, copper. Same deal right here with the silver copper. Another one up right here, but this is same thing, Ethiopian opal. You guys can see the incredible colors in that, and it's the twisted silver coated copper. Really incredible, guys. And for under $100 you can get this. That's including this price includes ship, unless you're out of the United States, then we charge extra for shipping, but this includes necklace material and shipping, and you also get a free gift package with it as well. So incredible new pendants, all new pendants. I also have ones that aren't with the twisted copper, with just regular copper coils. They're a little bit cheaper because I use a lot more copper for the twisted ones. So this one is another. Let me give you guys a quick view of this before we get into tonight's show. Well, I can't do this when I have guests on. I don't get into my website and stuff like that because I'm promoting them. But tonight you guys got to see some of these amazing ones. This one is only $55. That's include shipping, and you get the necklace material. And check this one out, guys. This is the rainbow moonstone in the silver copper coil. Really cool spiral copper coil. You can see the blue flash on the rainbow moonstone. Love this guy. We also have brand new golden healer for the year of the dragons. Dragons coming in. They'll be in a few days. You guys can even contact me to hold ones for those. There's going to be 44 of those coming. Little mini golden healer quartz dragons. I also have Herkimer diamonds coming as well. So we got pretty much every crystal or gemstone that you could possibly want. And my copper creations are my own unique design. We even have programmed items. So the programmed items are a little bit more expensive because they're programmed by me, I'm a master Reiki healer, and we have programmed items right here as well. Program crystals and program skulls. We also have programmed Ankh devices. So you guys, this is a very large sized K2 granite sphere for indigo child activation programming. Very rare. This only comes from one place in the world, the snowy mountains of Pakistan. This is I think about 2 pounds, this one. K2 granite programming, and you guys got a discount code up there as well. And if anybody's interested in this that's on my Patreon, I will give them a significant discount for being a Patreon member. So contact me privately. We also have all new high altitude Reiki healer quartz skulls. Here's everyone I put up of these. Go quickly. This is high altitude rainbow quartz from the Himalayas. You guys can see these are beautiful skulls. If anybody's getting called to be a crystal skull guardian, this is a good starter skull, and nothing better than high altitude rainbow quartz. You guys can see the rainbow inclusions all over these. Very affordable. That includes the shipping. And it's a Reiki healer, high altitude quartz. Really cool. And everything comes with free gifts. This is one of my recommendations tonight, would be the Solar Wolf amulet. One of the labradorite palm stones. These are incredible. I'll show you guys real quick what they look like. Wait. Let me see if you guys can see this. Can you guys see the color flash in those? Let me see if this one's better. You can see it's got like blue and purple and rainbow. These labradorite flashes are incredible. Maybe the light, let me adjust the light. There, look at the purple, and you guys can see. Look at the beautiful purple and rainbow flashes in this. They're all like that. Incredible. See that? It's got the purple and the rainbow. They're insane. Look at that. Love these. And you could find these also on similar flash on the Moonstone, right? So I just got in a very large Moonstone skull. This is over 2 pounds. This is about 2 pounds, 1 pound and 14.6 ounces. This guy is a badass skull right here. You guys can see this one. This has been programmed for Reiki healing as well. And very cool. It's got the golden flash and the blue flash. Very highly sought after. Moonstone. Very rare to get Moonstone skulls. And this is master carved by the Kalal family. Very similar to Robert's name, Khalil, right? Very cool. This is carved by Lydia, actually. Look at the flash all over that. Just insane. The whole friggin' skull's got blue flat. Look at that. All over the bottom as well. All over the top of the skull. Only the best here at the Mystical Spiral store. This one's name is Albinina because it has been imprinted with my master Moonstone skull, Albina, which has been charged at the North Salem, New York Balance Rock during winter and summer solstice. So this is a very special skull. It's actually my crystal skull light warrior number 207 of the 999 light warriors I will be releasing from 2015 until 2045. So It's my mission to release 999 skulls until the year 2045. So we are already releasing, this is number 207 right here, which is a sacred 9 number, 207. Very cool, right? All the mini skulls are part of them as well. So I was shown that I need to have 999 skulls out there to form a web of power for everyone to combat that 666 energy as well. I can't believe I have to part with this bad boy. Yeah, it sucks to part with this. This is a rare gem skull. I mean, a rare gem. I have a purple fluorite. Purple fluorite mixed with the pyrite. This is a gem with the copper tensor around it. Really cool pendant right here, everybody. I wear one like this myself. I don't have any more of these gemstones with the gem purple fluorite with the pyrite mixed with it. I also have a skull like this, if anybody's interested, but really cool. Look at that. You can't get these products anywhere else on the planet. There's no one making copper tensor coils like this around gemstones. Really cool. So this, of course, is at the mysticalspiralstore.com. And we also have a free website that you guys can support my PayPal and donate. Guys, I have free information. I've been keeping this website running since 2015. Like I said, it cost me like $1,500 a year just to keep my websites running between the store and this free information website. I have no advertisements on it, no money coming in on it. It's just for you all, and there's all information up here that you can't find anywhere else on the planet. You know, a lot of my information, people tend to use it and keep me as their secret little person that they get it from. But as far as I know, I'm the only person in modern times to let you guys know that these coronal loops is the Ankh of Egypt, the Pasha of Hindu, right? People have been talking about the Ankh for decades, hundreds of years, right? If someone else thought it was a coronal mass ejection loop or a solar prominence plasma loop, they would have said it like that, right? I was shown this at the North Salem, New York Balanced Rock, and it's my understanding that red granite is communicating with the auroras. It's communicating with the plasma coming from the sun. The sun is sending down information for creation, evolution, sustenance, for plants, all life to grow, right? It hears what we're calling out to be. A plant and a tree is sending out information to the sun for it to flourish and grow. And the sun sends back down that frequency in the light, in the plasma, for it to flourish. What comes out of us, the sun is sending back down to evolve us in a certain direction as well, right? And when I was shown, it's very simple, guys, when you see the plasma loops in the sun, right? And then you see the Ankh of Egypt. You know, when you see Akhenaten, you know, the literally the hand of the sun passing down Ankh loops. It seems so simple, but no one else described it like that before, right? I was shown this, and this is why I share my information with everybody. I'm going to put it all in a book series, of course, so people can get it, but it's meant to be out there, you know, and we're gonna get into some of the deep symbolism. I mean, you guys can see here, look at what Sekhmet right here. She's holding a coronal loop, right? She's a solar deity. She's even depicted as green, like the auroras, the information coming through, right? And when you see a sun with the snake right here, these are, what are they called? The Birkeland currents. These are how the electricity moves in the plasma waves. It moves like snakes, right? It moves also like dolphins, right? Like whales and dolphins, how they jump through the waters. And this is depicted in symbolism, ancient symbolism with Poseidon and different people. Apollo is a solar deity that has his dolphins that were traveling through the waters. That's the information traveling through the plasma waves, right? and red granite is communicating. The quartz in the red granite is absorbing that light and recording that light. So when you have a structure made of red granite like this, it's the crystals, the quartz in the red granite is absorbing the light coming from the sun, which is plasma. And you see all the plasma symbology, right, behind these. This is very interesting stuff here, right? And you guys can get all this free information at the mysticalspiralstore.com, right? And not only that, you guys can support me right here at PayPal or right here in the super chat. Even $1 or $2 will keep my websites up and running. I was debating whether I was going to pay for this website last month. I literally overdrew my account this week, like paying for the websites, right? So it was a hard decision even to keep these up. My store, I got to keep her up running, right? But all this other stuff is I have nobody sponsoring me or sending anything, and you guys can find some amazing information on here that you don't even know about. So check this out. Some of this information on here you can't find anywhere else. I've been pulling in by doing crystal skull readings for people. I've been learning more about the universe and myself and my own cosmic journey. And it's basically been showing me a lot of information about our solar wind Akashic Records network. And certain places on our planet have doorways into the magnetosphere, right? Which we speak of in very scientific terms nowadays. But from our own experiences and researches, I have come to find this region is a very special place, and it's the Garden of Eden, right? It's a very interesting spot. So I'm talking about in all of this very interesting areas. One of them being the Dorado constellation. You can see here. And the Dorado constellation, I was shown where a lot of DNA was sent from that have to do with water and dolphins, right? This is why the shape of the Dorado constellation looks like a dolphin, right? Because a lot of DNA was sent here. Looks like a swordfish or a dolphin fish. Water DNA was sent here. There are water worlds in the Dorado constellation, and a comet brought some of the freshwater dolphin DNA, bacteria, all that kind of stuff that evolves life. It came from somewhere in the Dorado constellation that I was shown, and it came here on comets, and it landed in the Ganges River area long ago, right? And you have freshwater dolphins that are specifically in that area. Really cool. Oh, shout out to Typical Skeptic Podcast. He is the man. Robert Khalil is the man. Look at this. So you guys can find all of this information here. The large megalithic cloud is one of the places in there. These are star forming regions, right? And this is plasma regions, right? This is all plasma, everybody. 99.99% of the visible universe is plasma. Boats of plasma is when you see nebulas and things like that, right? So when you see different colors, red means it's moving away from us, blue means it's coming towards us as well. When you have of streams of light, right? It's moving at different sounds and frequencies. And also, it's interesting that red and blue is the colors of our lifeblood as well. Not only the lifeblood of the universe, but the lifeblood of our bodies. We are microcosms of the universe, right? Really cool. So you guys can find all of this information at themysticalspiral.com. I'm always updating this. I've been putting more information up as of lately. Sombrero Galaxy Station. These are all soul stations within our cosmic journey, right? Really, really cool information here. And you guys can find even stuff about my hereditary past and different things about ancient Italy here. Look at this. This is all about Strega knowledge of the Strega bloodlines, some of the abilities that's carried over within the Strega bloodlines, gifts of our heritage. And you can find stuff about Lake Nemi and the ancient walnut trees of Italy here, the Benedante and La Vecchia, which is the old ways. I gotta update my news and media. because I haven't updated it since I've been on Darkness Radio with the news and media, which is like the end of 2023. I got to update that, but all the other ones have been updated. These ones are all updated. You can get to my store from this website as well. Goes right to my store. And also, you can find very interesting information. You got my colleagues. I have to add Robert Khalil as my colleague from Typical Skeptic. I haven't updated that, but we have Maria DeAndrea here. We have I'm going to add a few other people. We got, of course, Lori Bruno, my godmother Lori, and we have who else on here? Maria Wheatley's on here. We got Glenn Kreisberg on here. We got Professor Chandra Robinson on here. And we got Gary Wayne on here. These are my colleagues that I do interviews with on a consistent basis. And you guys, Robert Khalil from Typical Skeptic's going to be added on here as well. And also, you know, Lori, you could find my website on Lori's website. This is Lori Bruno's website, Magica, which is the soul of the Magi, right? And right here, you could find my, see, look, where am I? Right here, the Mystical Spiral store. Right here on her front page. Look at this. Even my Spiral Radio, my old Spiral Radio, that was my old show. She has that right on her front page. Wow, look at that. Mystical Spiral store, boom, right on her front page. Really cool. Oh, shout out to Dancer in the Storm. Well, if also I'll give you guys an incentive tonight. If anybody wants to do it $50 or more, I will send them a free pendant gift package, which is worth that alone. So that'll give you guys incentive to support me, and you get something back in return. You just got to send me your address, all right? Or if someone wants to buy something tonight, we'll send you guys a beautiful gift package, an extra gift package. I always send a gift package anyway, but we'll give you guys a little pendant in there as well. All right, so let's see. Let's get into it tonight. Let me stop sharing that for a second. So, guys, welcome now to the Space Water Podcast. We're going to get into it tonight. So, we have some very interesting information to share with you guys. You guys have known that my research has evolved over the years, and it's not through scholarship alone, right? I've had a lot of life experience. I know I tend to look young, but you guys know that I'm damn near closer to 50 years old than 40 now, right? I tend to say my age lately because a lot of people are thinking I'm a kid out there. I have a lot of life experience, and I've been through a lot of spiritual experiences because I've been open my whole life, right? And being born inside the call, which you guys can find at themysticalspiral.com if you guys are looking for more information on that. I think it was my birthright. This is one of my missions, right? And it has to do with the transmigration of souls. Now, we lost the coordinates outside of a harmonic evolution, outside of this earth realm that we're in, this third dimension. We are constantly being recycled back into this materialistic realm. And the materialism is evolving, right? And we seem to be genetically changing as a species because of us calling out. The sun is sending down the accordingly the in the DNA, the bacterias, the viruses that are going to evolve our species accordingly, because we're calling out what our soul wants to be. And the majority of the vibration of the planet is calling out for materialistic things, monetary things, right? Not spiritual gain, but materialistic gain. And that sort of emanations that we're sending out is being absorbed by the planetary bodies, by the stellar bodies, by the solar bodies. All those suns are intelligences, deep intelligences of the universe, of God. Right? And it's going to send back down what we're calling out to be, what our vibration is sending out. And this is being depicted, this harmony of spheres, how Us having sacred stone sites that is harnessing solar stellar energy, us being at those sites, doing certain mantras and hymns and certain dances at these sites is anchoring in that information coming from the sun, putting in a communion between the two, right? Anchoring in. Our language has been completely changed for us to be dumbed down. In the past, our ancient language, some of the oldest that we have, was Sanskrit. Sanskrit was made from Shiva's cosmic drum. The sounds of the sun, the sounds of the universe, the sounds of the light, the plasma, the sentient plasma, right? And the very sounds of Sanskrit, the words, the vowels, they're all pronounced a certain way to harmonize and anchor in the cosmic energy, right? That's why they call it spelling, because it's like a spell, right? When you say things, there's a certain frequency and harmonic, and it carries a certain vibration that energy shifts things, right? So our ancient language in the past had specific ways to do mantras and hymns to harness the knowledge that's coming from the stars, the suns, right? So we can be in tune with the flow of nature and evolve accordingly with the thoughts of God, not specifically our own greedy intentions, right? We all have a reason for being here, every species. And we seem to have lost our place in nature, right? Yeah, I mean, the auroras that we're getting blasted with, I mean, literally everybody, these loops, I have talked about the Ankh for over 20 years. I've, you know, I don't really look into other researchers, but I've read hundreds of books about ancient Egypt symbology, all the way going back to Wallace Budge and the first Lemnorant and the first people that were translating Birch and the first people that were translating ancient Egyptian symbolism and publishing books in the later 1800s. Nobody mentions plasma loops from the sun, right? CME, solar prominence, right? I was shown this at a megalithic site that looks like Sekhmet that we previously saw on my website, right? I'm sure other people are going to be talking about this now. I mean, it seems so simple, right? It seems so simple when you see Akhenaten being handed down a loop, an Ankh loop from the arm of the son of the Aten. And people need to realize that he changed his name to Akhenaten. His name is Amenhotep IV, right? And what does Akhenaten translate to? It literally translates the intelligence of the light from the sun, from the disk of the sun. Do you realize what it's talking about? The sentient plasma that's being sent from the sun. And then many people think Akhenaten worshipped the solar disk, the Aten, which is actually not true. What he worshipped was the emanations that was coming off of the intelligence that was in the light that was coming off of the sun. Very different than the solar disk itself. He was communicating with, harnessing the intelligence that was being sent from the sun. And you can even see the little snake right there, which is called sometimes the asp or the uraeus or uraei. And it's not a booger in my nose there. That's the side of my nose. I can't tell you how many podcasts I went on or people's shows on YouTube where I'm like this and they're like, he's got boogers and things in his nose. No, it's the light from the camera. That's the side of my nose. You dumbass. Those aren't boogers. So don't think those are boogers. I'm clean. It's clean. It might be some nose hairs in there, but it's not a booger. It's just the light. If I shut the light off, you can't see it. See? It's just the inside of my nose. But So don't think I got a booger if I tint my head back. I'm getting like self-conscious putting my head back on online now because people have commented. Uh, I went on a few podcasts. One I don't recommend, Life After Life NDE. I went on there and it's got like 80,000 views or something like that. It's a near death channel. They're from Vietnam. They don't speak English. They don't show themselves on the video. So they were kind of rude to me in a way, in many ways, and they titled the video something that I didn't even talk about. Like we were talking about my near death experience, and they literally titled it "Man has a near death experience and shares what's going to happen in May 2024." I had my near death experience in 1987. I never mentioned anything about May 2024. It was just clickbait, right? And they got a lot of money. You know what you get from 80,000 views? I, you know, I, when it's a long video, if it's a short, you don't get nothing. You get like 20 cents. But if it's an hour long video, you get over $1,000, right? Just from 2,000 views on, I get like 10, $20, right? When I do a show with Gary Wayne, I get like 10, $20 from it. And it gets about 2,000 views or so, 3,000 views. You get like 10, $20 just from that, Matt. So imagine 80,000 views. And they got ads going every 2 seconds in the freaking video. Well, I have premium, but if you don't have premium, you got ads going every 2 minutes. But whatever. So I was on a few podcasts like that where they wouldn't put my website in the description. I had to like beg them to finally do it. And they did it after they already got the 80,000 views. Then they threw my website in the description. Now it doesn't matter. Now you're already maxed out in the views, right? And the money's not coming to us at all in America or anywhere it's going to Vietnam. So I don't recommend subscribing to that podcast. Um, I do recommend going to the Typical Skeptic podcast. Don Rogers and Typical Skeptics are the only people that ever actually paid me for doing. Not that I get paid to do podcasts because we don't. Like I do we do these for free. I do these for free. I did my radio show for free for 10 years almost, right? And very rarely did anybody ever donate. I mean, I don't make money off of YouTube. Some people do. I don't. I made like $800-900 last year from YouTube. That's not anything. It didn't even, that's nothing. I pay $400-500 a week in groceries. So, you know, um, it's really nothing. I do this because it's a passion, right? So this is a groundbreaking podcast. You can't find this information anywhere else. This is the Space Water Podcast, baby, and we're just getting warmed up tonight. So I've been showing you guys that they're talking about harnessing solar information. All these bloodlines, the Asura and Deva bloodlines that had the Vedic wars and had all the cataclysms that happened and everything because of these wars, right? It brought down cosmic rain. It brought down catastrophes. It brought down the waters. And the clans and tribes that survived from these wars, they broke out and spread out into their own colonies all over the planet. This is how you have Egyptians and Persians and all of these tribes, right? The Thracians, all of these tribes, they stem from the Asura and Deva knowledge. And they're showing you these sacred stone sites are communicating with the sun and various other stars at specific times of the year, right? And there was a site recently found in France a few years ago that there's no other site like this. And it's my first time ever you're going to hear about this. I'm saying that I think that they're depicting plasma loops coming from the sun at this stone site. And it's incredible if this is true. Now, let me show you guys what I'm talking about. I know the Smithsonian is not a place to really get information from. The Smithsonian is where reported about this site, where I saw the first pictures of it. And I don't take any information from what they say, but of course they have the pictures of the site. I mean, that's not fake. Um, Let me first pull them up before I share screen with you guys. All right, so Let me share screen. So let me shout out everybody for real quick. Claws and Gloves. Shout out to Magic Mika, my wifey. Claudette Malspina. Claudette Malspina. Heather Mattoon. Robert from Typical Skeptic. Shout out Arizona Raven. Dancer in the Storm. I'm going to make Robert a moderator. And I need to make Magic Mika a no, she is a managing moderator. She's the managing moderator. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I wanted. All right. Where are the giant crystals to capture the sun's loop energies? Well, we have selenite giant crystals. Crystals in general are absorbing the light information that's coming from the sun, and they broadcast this information. The birds, they broadcast the same sound and frequency that's coming from the sun. And if you want scientific proof, go look at what's called an electron-driven chorus that's coming from the plasma waves inside the magnetosphere around Earth. When the electrons that come from the sun come into the magnetosphere, they chirp and sing. That sounds just like birds do right before sunrise, right? That frequency is what opens stomata in plants. And that's the plant, a cell in the plants that helps them flourish and be abundant and grow, right? This is the music from the sun that the birds are repeating, right? Birds are keeping the flow of nature going. And you can see even the trees and plants, they look like dendrites. Neural network. It's the neural network of Earth, right? And the trees are reaching out to the sun, calling out, send me light for us to glow and flourish. And the sun sends down the according light, right? Now we see here, let me share screen. Right here, this is a Neolithic site found in France. And this is the bird's eye view of the Neolithic site. Now, check that out. Now, this, in my opinion, is this, and I'm interested to find if they end up finding out that there's pottery and different things like that that's discovered to show that this was a solar warship site, a solar site, right? Because that'll even, I mean, look at the way it was made for you to see from above. It looks like it's depicting giant solar prominence coronal mass ejection plasma loops coming from the sun. Giant plasma loops this size would significantly change the planet, right? It would be worse than the Carrington event. I mean, we're talking about this could be depicting solar phenomenon and increase in solar wind and aurora activity that the ancient ancestors were witnessing. Right? Now, you guys can see this is what they look like coming from the sun. Loops coming from the sun. I mean, what's the odds of that? First time ever that you're seeing this and depicted like this, right? So let me pull up what they're saying about this site. And we're going to go deep tonight. You guys, this is Space Border Podcast episode 12 right here live on YouTube. And you guys can't get this information anywhere else on the planet. Really cool. Really cool. Let me see. So, what up, Esma? every time I look it up on here. Um, Wait, I have it. I think I have it here. I have it right here. I got it. I got it. Neolithic France. There. You know what? I'm gonna show you guys right here. So you guys type in Neolithic France site. Nothing like it. Right here. So this is from the Smithsonian. You guys can see the Neolithic monument found in France has no equal. An aerial view of the structure, which they say which resembles a wonky, incomplete bow tie. Well, no, it represents plasma loops coming from the sun. Right? Newly discovered structure in France could be thousands of years old, and it's a one of a kind shape, right? Yeah. Well, they're finding all this stuff with it. Well, most likely we're gonna find out it was a solar warship site. I didn't read the whole article here. It's not long anyway. No, there's not much in the article, but you guys can see here that um really incredible. Really incredible right there. Let me get back to the chat room where you guys were saying. Thank you everybody for the support. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I mean these loops, I mean there's there's so much to share with you guys. Let me give you guys just a taste. And of course, my book and my Patreon, patreon.com/the mystical spiral. I don't know if you guys aren't getting notifications, but I put daily posts up there on my Patreon, and I'm sharing the most groundbreaking research, and I'm not getting many likes. I got some subscribers there, but for literally $2 a month, you get access to the most groundbreaking work out there. Really, I mean, and the higher platforms get you access to crystal skull readings, your own coupon codes on my website, free items, all sorts of things. So over 2,000 posts you can't find anywhere else is already on my Patreon. So let me share screen again real quick with you guys. Let me give you guys an exclusive right here. So my you guys can see some of the ancient artwork, right? This is what is this called again? I forget that. This is the ceremonial palette of Narmer, right? You guys can see these are depicting solar dynasties and the work of the solar dynasties. Now, let me explain to you guys first how these coronal loops form, these plasma loops. They're formed by twisting magnetic field lines that twist around each other like snakes, and they form a loop, right? So when you see the caduceus twisting around with the wings, that is representing the solar wind with twisting magnetic field lines forming the loop, bringing the light, right? And you guys can see that these are depicted the same way. These are twisting magnetic field lines and spiraling electrons that are spiraling inside, right? And this is depicted within the art, right? You even have the solar dynasties harnessing the energy coming from that. These bull symbolisms, it all has to do with the sun. These are all solar bulls. And you can see even the crooked staff, the rams of the horn, they are forming these loops. These is advanced plasma knowledge here that's coming from the sun. Birds are depicted as well. That's bird symbolism. Water birds are depicted a lot as well. And you guys can see this is also depicted on staffs. Staffs of Zeus, staffs of all the solar deities. And Zeus is a solar deity. He's god of the bright sky. He's god of the dark sky. He's god of the solar wind, god of the solar plasma clouds. He comes riding on a cloud. Hera was created in the cloud. And this is not earthquakes and thunderbolts that are on Earth. These are coming from the cosmos, right? Earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, all that stuff stems from what's coming from the sun. The sun is what triggers volcanic explosions. The sun is what triggers hurricanes and thunderstorms and lightning, right? It all has to do with plasma. So let me give you guys a little other taste of some stuff here. So we have, this is called, what is this called again? Hold on, let me just look it in my notes. Jebel El Arak knife. Oh, it says it right there. Shit. This is called the Jebel El Arak knife. This is an ivory knife handle from pre-dynastic Egypt, if I'm not mistaken. And you guys can see they're holding the staff with the loops in there. And this is talking about a war that happened in the waters. Now, people talking about that it must have been the Nile Delta. Well, the Nile was named after its celestial counterpart, if you want to say. Right? So you guys can see this is a solar deity holding the two lions that represent sun. It represents solar activity. And this is most likely talking about the destructive forces that's coming over the waters. And this is a very detailed ivory knife handle. Very cool, right? Very, very cool. And let me show you guys. What else do I have here? Oh, yeah. So this is another depiction of Zeus. Zeus as Lykios, which is the wolf solar deity. And you see, look at this solar symbolism everywhere. So you got Zeus who's sitting on his golden throne, the throne of gold, right? He's got water birds. Remember, the electrons that the sun sends sounds like birds chirping, water birds, cosmic waters, right? So he's sitting over the water birds. His staff literally has twisting snakes that form these loops. And he even has a loop coming out of his hand, a ring. Right? And this is depicted in Sumerian and Anunnaki writings, right? Right here, you guys can see what is this solar deity. This is Shamash. Shamash is the solar god, the sun god, right? He's even harnessing a star, holding the magnetic field lines. When you see the god holding two magnetic field lines and he's about to twist them to form a loop, that's plasma physics, right? So right here, you have him he's about to twist the magnetic field lines, and he's literally sending out the rod and ring, right? This is the coronal loop. These are representing the waters. He's a solar deity. And the phallic type head represents the explosion of the magnetic field line. It's like the explosion of the ejaculation of the sun, right? And you can see the solar wheels right here. I mean, this is cuneiform wedged writing right here, but you guys could see the same symbolism. And he's of course sitting on the solar lions. Maybe it's a binary sun that we represent, right? Maybe that's representing there. But you guys can see, look, this is very much like this. Ain't hard to see. Ain't a stretch at all. And this and what is this right here? These are solar deities. It's incredible. Really is incredible. And you see here, this is another ancient depiction of Lycaeus Zeus. He's holding the thunderbolt and the loop. The crooked staff is the loop. Now, I know I don't get promoted like Gaia TV and things like that because those are for entertainment. They're a business. They're there to make money. Those guys, most of those people are not experts. I know for a fact, people like Billy Carson, they're hired. They're not experts. They're showing those guys cue cards. And they're hired to put suits on and they get paid and they're getting told what to tell you guys. They're not experts. If you want an expert, you come right here. I've been doing this my whole life, and I guys can show you some groundbreaking research that you can't find anywhere else. Yeah, I mean that's exactly what it is, but there's a dual symbolism. It's not just the foreskin. It's representing, there's a symbolism behind it. And of course that's what it is there. I mean, come on. And it has to do with the explosion. Yeah, I'll definitely come on tomorrow night and do readings. Robert, have a good night, brother. Have a good night. You guys, you can see the symbolism all over here. I mean, this is the sun with the loop. And in my opinion, that Neolithic site in France is depicting this very much so. Very much so. And that's just getting started. You know, this is just a little taste. But yeah, I do feel I mean, you guys can see the look at that. You guys can see how similar that is. And look at all this symbolism in here. Really incredible. Now, of course, they don't tell you, but do I have the Thracian loops? Let me see. I mean, you could see the symbolism in, I don't know if I sent that to myself. I sent myself a whole bunch of emails from different things. Yeah, that was that one. Yeah, you guys can see even the Thracian symbolism. I'll show you too. Like one of the symbols for Thrace is that loop. The same one that you see on the knife handle. You see? And that is with the bird with it as well. That's one of, and a lot of times it's depicted with the backbone of the solar deity, and with the loop at the end. This is Thracian symbolism. I mean, really, really cool. Yeah, they are hired. I mean, all those guys are hired. I mean, I'm good pals with Johnny Enoch. Not really good pals. Like I never met him in person yet, but we talk on online a few times, and he recently had a big fallout with a guy, and that guy Timothy Hogan or something the guy's name is. I guess They did some kind of ritual on him. He's been talking about it all over, so it's not like I'm giving you guys some inside information, but he's having a fallout with all this. He told me like some inside information about stuff that I assumed already. I already realized that about because like I don't consider myself I don't call myself an expert. I don't go out there and say, "Oh, I'm an expert," but I'm damn near close to it if you want to call someone it, right? I've been going through the ancient writings and translations of them for 30 years since I'm like 15 years old. Right. So when someone is quoting Zechariah Sitchin or they're quoting Nicholas Wyatt or different people that translated the Ugaritic tablets and Ugarit, different translations, right? Or Wallace Budge from ancient Egyptian, or whenever someone has some kind of information they're saying from the ancient writings, I could pretty much know in a few minutes when they talk whether it's coming from a theory they have from themselves or they're repeating another researcher or they're repeating a translator or an archaeologist or whatever, right? I know immediately. And when I hear some of these people talk, I could tell it's for entertainment. They're being hired, right? They're being hired for entertainment. Now, yeah, people like me also can get hired to speak at different events, but you guys should know the difference right away from a real one and a hired gun, right? That's being given. And that guy that I mentioned earlier, he was specifically hired because he looks good in a suit. They needed diversity at Gaia, and he has a good memory. What they tell him, he was able to repeat it and it sinks in, right? He's not even a real neuroscience. He said he went to Harvard for neuroscience. It wasn't the right guy. It was a different guy with the same name that actually went there for neuroscience. So, guys, a lot of what you see out there that's being told as truth that you either see on like the Joe Rogan podcast or a lot of them aren't experts or haven't put the right time through it. Some of them have just thumbed through a few things, like thumbed through Zechariah Sitchin. Like that's not research. It's not even reading. It's just like, you know, it's sad. It's pretty sad actually. But that's what the culture nowadays is. People just want things instantly. They don't want to put hard work to get what they want. Like you guys want deep knowledge and wisdom, but you don't want to have to put in work for it. You just want to click on a video and get it, right? No, that's not how things work. Just because you're curious and you're looking and yearning for something, the universe isn't going to just reward you for it. You have to put in hard work for it. And for me to find some of the answers about symbols that I've been looking at for 30 years, it took me a lot of life experience and trials and errors for me to come to some of the truth that I'm just coming on to now in my later 40s. Topics that I've been working on since I was in my early 20s that I thought I knew what I was talking about. I just starting to figure out some of that stuff now, right? When I first read like The Secret Doctrine of Madame Blavatsky, when I was in high school, I was starting to read those ones, right? I thought I knew what I was reading, but now in my 40s, they take on a whole new meaning, right? It comes with life experience and wisdom. It doesn't come through scholarship alone. Hero, Susan Ralph, Esma, blowing your mind, brother. No doubt. No doubt. And you guys can find my Patreon, patreon.com/the mystical spiral. And of course, let me show you guys again real quick before we go. My website right here, mysticalspiralstore.com. You guys can get blessed10 is the coupon code to get 10% off. And we got all new products. I really recommend, I mean, for under $100 right now, you can get a gemstone copper tensor coil pendant. You can't get it anywhere else on the planet, but right here at the Mystical Spiral store. Even Light Life Tools, Slim Sperling's wife that I just had on my last episode of Space Water Podcast, Katharina Sperling. She likes these. She doesn't make anything like this. She doesn't wrap tensor. And I like their stuff, but they like when they make like even a harmonizer, they put gold plating or plating over it. I don't like putting plating over the tensor wrap. I think it changes it for me. I like it just wrapped. So I like their devices that don't have the plating on it, but they tend to do plating on it because they're trying to make it different because other people copied their work. But I don't, I have my own. Like, no, I'm doing my own tensor wrappings around gemstones. And you guys can see here, you guys can't get this anywhere else on the planet for under $100. Shipping's included. Necklace material is included, and you're getting an opal gemstone from Ethiopia. Very rare. Look at that. This is the Seven Rays Celestial Ship amulet, and it comes with the free gift package. It comes with shipping included and the necklace material. Really cool. And there's also the silver copper one as well. Real silver coated over copper. And you guys can see that one right here. This is the silver copper one of the same type of Ethiopian opal. Another one of our, see that? It's got the twisted copper. Beautiful, beautiful pendant here. One of my favorite new ones, though, is the Solar Wolf Protector right here. And this is another one, even Twisted Sage, which is a company that makes tensors. They wanted one of these. This is a lemon quartz gemstone, guys. This is not regular crystal. This is gemstone. Incredible. So this is not heat treated in any way. Not heat treated in any way at all. So you guys can see really cool copper tensor coil wrapped around the lemon quartz. Can't get this anywhere else in the world, but right here at the Mystical Spiral store. If you're on my Patreon and you want one of these, contact me. I'll give you guys an extra discount. I really appreciate you guys coming on tonight. Once again, this is the Space Water Podcast. Really appreciate you guys sending me the donations. Twin Flame Divine Fire, shout out. Yep. No longer on Truth Frequency Radio. We don't know what's up with that place. But we're here now. My new podcast is not the Eye of Ra on Truth Frequency Radio anymore, but we're right here on YouTube called the Space Water Podcast. And guys, thanks for joining me. And Spiral. I'm going to be live at midnight on my other YouTube channel called The Mystical Spiral, Copper and Gemstones. We're going to be doing some live crystals that I'm showing. So you guys can join me on that one as well. That's at midnight right now, coming up in 15 minutes. So we'll see.